I know what you might be thinking. Hey, Wendy, let's just get into the good stuff. Show me how to write my resume already. I totally get it, but hang in there with me for just a little bit longer. Part of my job as your virtual coach is to set you up for success and to do things right the first time. That's going to require us to spend a little bit of extra time together doing some front end prep work. We want to build a solid foundation so you can have the most effective resume out there and get the best experience from this course. So in this lecture, what we're going to talk about is market research. What do I mean by market research? Well, in terms of the job search process, market research is simply an activity that you'll do to see what employers are hiring for and the skills and expertise that are necessary to fulfill those job roles. Do you remember questions 11 and 12 from the ValueAdd Worksheet? Skills I have versus skills I need. Now is the time we're going to take our answers from the ValueAdd Worksheet and cross-compare to the results of the market research that we conduct. This is going to help us assess any skill gaps we may have to address during the hiring process, but it's also going to solidify the skills that we already have and can leverage in our resume. Before we get into the details on how to conduct our market research, I'd like to address a misconception. There's a misconception that in order to apply for a job, you need to have 100% of the job qualifications outlined in the job description. While that may be true for some companies and some jobs, it's certainly not true for everything. Remember, employers are casting a wide net to see what they get. Sometimes they reel in candidates that have 100% of the qualifications, but more often than not, they get very qualified candidates, but they're missing 1 or 2 skill requirements. And that's okay. So if you find yourself in that category, please don't hesitate to apply. You can demonstrate your potential in your cover letter and your interview. If you are clearly unqualified for a job, please don't apply, don't waste your time, and don't waste the recruiter's time. This is one of the big reasons that we do market research, so we can prepare ourselves and educate ourselves of what employers are looking for and whether or not we have those skills. Let's talk about market research. Why are we doing it? You need to see what's out there and what it takes to land your ideal job. You also need to see the skills and qualifications to determine if that job is even something you'd like to do. I've had people do some market research and say, "Ooh, yuck, that isn't what I thought it was going to be." We're going to use your market research to build your resume. We'll look for keywords and skill sets you can reflect in your resume when we start focusing on your professional experience. If you're ever struggling for verbiage or what to write in your resume, your market research can provide you with inspiration that might help you get unstuck when describing your experience. Market research gives you an opportunity to look at specific companies that you're targeting. You can ask yourself, do I really want to work here? What's the culture like? Is this an environment where I'd flourish or flounder? What's their social responsibility strategy? What does this company find most important as far as mission and values? Market research gives you the chance to eliminate jobs in companies that aren't right for you, which is a huge time saver. By the way, market research is especially important for college students. Let's talk about how to conduct market research. There are several ways you can do it. Most people start with Google, and that's totally fine. You can use Google to type in generic search criteria, such as project management jobs, and see what pops up. You'll get a ton of results.
You can also do a skills-based search, such as jobs that need Linux experience. Depending on what I'm looking for, I don't typically use the skills-based search often because it's very broad. However, it is an option. Another tactic you can use is to search by company. If you know a few companies that you're interested in, search and pull up their website. What are they hiring for? What skills do their jobs require? And what types of candidates are they looking for? Another great resource is LinkedIn. If you don't have a LinkedIn profile, I suggest you get one. It's free and will provide you the opportunity for exposure to a whole new world. You can use the same tactics for a LinkedIn search. For market research purposes, I wouldn't narrow down the geography unless you're really keen on searching for something within a particular location.
I'd say the best thing you can do for market research is to speak with somebody who's already doing the job or somebody that's knowledgeable about the job. We call this an informational interview. I have a great article that I'd like to link you out to at the bottom of this lecture so you can check it out on how to conduct a successful informational interview. Remember to get creative with your market research. Spend some time doing it. This is your time to develop you and your career. So the amount of time you put in up front is really going to make a difference for you down the line. When you do your market research, you should be asking yourself questions like, would this job really fit not only my skill sets, but the values that I outlined on the ValueAdd Worksheet? If you're researching a particular company, you can look at the culture of the company, the social responsibility, the environment. Would you thrive and flourish in that environment or not? Would you even want to do that job for a living? Those are all of the questions that market research is going to help you answer. And as you'll see in future lectures, we're going to hone in on that market research when we start writing our resume. So I will see you in the next lecture.